Dana Price at Amber Dog Productions. So today we find ourselves at Lost Lake, Oregon. Which one? There's two. Well, yeah, I guess you could say there's two, but actually, technically, the one we're at today is the Lava Tube Lost Lake. This is the lake that is often confused with the one up on Mount Hood. This is the one that is a seasonal lake that drains down a rather large lava tube. And hopefully, if all goes well, I can locate it with the drone, or maybe I'll try to walk out to it. Wait a minute. So you're telling me the Lost Lake up on Mount Hood doesn't disappear, like some people have said, and online sometimes it says it fluctuates? Yeah, there's two. The one up on Mount Hood does not fluctuate. That one's a glacial lake, and that's different than this one. This one's located over near Sisters on US 20, and it's quite a bit different. We're a long ways away from the Lost Lake on Mount Hood. Well, okay then. Since you brought me here, let's check out this lake that disappears. Well, okay, let's do it. Turn you around here. This is Lava Tube Lost Lake. And we're just gonna walk down this little trail here and see what we see. Now, I should note one thing pretty interesting that I was quite happy about, I might add, is that I'm the only one here. I literally drove through the campground, and I'm literally the only one here. How awesome is that? It's not a very big campground. I don't know how many spaces there are, not very many, but when you first enter in to the area, you'll start seeing some little camping spots, and you drive in a little bit further, and on your right side will be the fee station where you pay your camping fee, and there's and you'll see little turnouts, little posts on them. So you pay your fee, and then you put the one ticket on your dashboard, and the other one goes on the little post at your campsite. Now, I may or may not stay here tonight. I'm not sure, haven't decided yet, but I'll turn you around again. So I'm sure there's lots of little trails like this that lead out to it. Now, I chose this time of year to come here because this area that you see out here is normally a lake. You can kind of tell the marshy look. I'll get you down here to the grass. So you look at this kind of grass down here, and you can see this kind of marshy grass, whatever, this kind of stuff, that this area all through here is seasonally a lake. Now, I chose this time of year to come here because I wanted it to be down in the hopes that I could locate the actual lava tube that it drains down to. Now, there's been lots of confusion for people due to the fact, yeah, you can see, look at the ground here, you can see it's all cracked and stuff like that. There's lots of confusion over the two lost lakes here in Oregon. And even online, you know, you read stuff about these two lakes and stuff and whatnot. And it's obvious why, because they're both referred to as Lost Lake. This one, however, is the one that actually gets lost. Goes down a lava tube, drains down through a lava tube seasonally, and when the snow melt and stuff, it's always draining, don't get me wrong. It's always draining. With that being said, what happens is, man, look at the butterflies, they're everywhere. Froggies, little baby froggies. What happens is it drains all the time. This might be it. It drains all the time, but when the water amount coming in dwindles, then the lake just drains away. And this looks pretty suspicious. as being it. I can't quite see the bottom, and I don't know how fast it drains. But I do see water coming in off the river and stuff and coming in here. We're going to continue to look around and see what I see. And but you know, given the shape and the swirling of it and the fact that water's flowing in and not rising in this area is pretty obvious. But I don't know if this is the main one. This is my first time here. I have read up on it quite a bit, studied it, things like that, and always found it rather interesting. Oh, it appears there's more than just one. Here is another clearly a lava tube, and water is coming in here and from over there into here. You can see it swirling around, so that's two. So yeah, let's just continue to walk around. There may be several. I don't know. Butterflies are everywhere though. I thought there was just one, because there's always just one that's referenced when you hear about this place or whatever. There's always just one referenced, but as you can see, we've already found two. So I don't know if you can make it out or not, but in this swirling pool that is a vertical shaft lava tube where the water is draining in, if you look really close, you'll see there's literally hundreds and hundreds of little baby frogs that are in this swirling muck. And they're just kind of going around and around and around, except for that group over there is just kind of treading water, fighting the current. They don't seem to be in distress. They're not like kicking hard trying to get out of there. But if they come over here to the shoreline, around the edge, there's clearly ways for them to get out. So I'm kind of thinking they're just having fun.
Would you want to leave this place where we grew up? This old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. Where will you go? Won't you miss the ones you know? I'll be here, hanging on, waiting for your call. Seems like time as a wave passing by, leave a mark in our minds to turn to memories. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. I was hoping you would stay, but I've always known that you would go and find your own way.
The nice thing about this clip, in order to not disturb the birds in this particular shot, it looks like I'm right over them, but I'm not. I'm actually just about 400 feet in the air. The drone that I have has an incredible lens set on it that allows me to zoom in and get things like that without disturbing nature.
Gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. It's gonna cry, it's gonna cry.
You know, not to be an eco-terrorist or anything, but, you know, like many other states, Oregon has had a lot of forest fires. And, you know, natural ones, there's not much you can do about that. Man-made ones, you just want to kick those guys in the grill. There's no good reason for that. And that's probably darn near every state in the union. But, you know, as I travel around the Northwest, one thing that does stand out to me in the areas that I visit, and that is that, you know, if you have a fire and it's a brush fire, it travels low underneath the trees, the bark protects the trees and stuff, it can blow through an area pretty quick. You know, I'm not talking about a major one, you know, that goes all kind of crazy, but, you know, you drive through these burn areas and you can see where, you know, the grass underneath burnt real fast and the fire just booked on through and the trees are fine. But what I increasingly see, it's, you know, it seems like it's actually always been this way since I've lived in Oregon. But I'll turn the camera around, show you what I see. So there's trees like this, and if you look at the stump, it's all blacked out. This has been cut down a long time ago, okay? This big old tree all the way out there. There's another one over here. And you look out over there, there's trees laying everywhere out here. Everywhere you look, there's trees. You know, you walk down this road and laying up in the, you know, laying over there, there's probably 20 trees down over there. There's a huge one over there. I doubt you can see it, but it's in between there. It's kind of laying like that. It's a massive tree. Probably good, I don't know, 5 foot diameter, you know? It's absolutely huge. And over there, I see some more that have been cut and just dropped right there. There's another one right there, cut and dropped. And, you know, there's another one right there, big old tree, cut and dropped. Now, where am I going with this? Well, if you have a grass fire and there's limbs and stuff laying on the ground, stuff like that, that's like kindling, we'll say, and then you have all these down trees like this, guess what? Just like when you build a fire at your camp, you start off with light stuff and you put some little twigs in there and you start yourself a big old fire. Put your logs on. Well, everywhere I look around here, trees have been cut down, obviously long ago, And when they drop them, they just drop them and leave them. And this is through all the forests around here. This is not new. This is everywhere. It's not unique to one area. I travel this entire state. And the problem is here in Oregon, somebody took it upon themselves to pass laws that don't allow people to come in and remove these trees. Now, I know that some of them, like when I was at Crescent Lake, I know that some do get cut and used for, you know, the campfire area and stuff like that. There's limited exceptions to that. But generally speaking, everywhere you go, you know, you look through these forests that had the fires in 2020, there's all these dead trees, you know, that died in the fire. The whole hillsides up here have got, you know, trees that have been dropped. There's millions of them. And they're just left there forever. You do see some localized areas where there's crews in there pulling some trees out, but you know, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. But what I am seeing is just literally tens of millions of trees laying everywhere in the woods. And if we want to do something about helping stop these forest fires, the state needs to change its tune on this and allow people, instead of cutting good trees down or whatever, there's all these trees that have been cut down everywhere. And they need to let people come in and cut these things up and use them for firewood, or maybe they got home mills or whatever like that. You know, even if it's a permitting process, God, I know this state loves taxes, and boy, does it ever. So they could, you know, increase their program if they have one, where you can get a permit and go, you know, log some of these trees that are down, and that would help save our forest. Because what we have everywhere you look is a lot of wood that's going to burn hot and burn long, just laying on the ground right next to these other good trees, and kill them too. And then I think it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out this is a contributing factor. It's really frustrating that we have lawmakers in Salem that apparently don't ever go out in the woods and see this issue. They just write legislation and let it be. And as we watch more and more of our woodlands get burned down, and I know you can't stop all the forest fires. I get it. But, you know, humans are like ants. When they invade an area, they invade an area. You look at any clear-cut area and you see that. So if we can go out and clear-cut a bunch of good trees for the lumber industry, I don't see any reason why, at least to the civilian populace, we can't issue permits to let them come out and clean these trees up to maybe reduce it some. Come on, Salem, you can do better. Now, as to the campsites here at Lava Tube Lost Lake, they're pretty nice. Like this one here it's really spacious. I mean, look at this thing. So basically what you do is you go up to the fee area and you pay your money. This is lot 6. And then you put the tag on your dash, like I said, and then, you know, the other one on the post. There's a little clip on the post. First come, first served site. As many of these are up here, and you got a nice fire pit, nice picnic table, you know, stuff like that. It's a really beautiful place. I would say, as far as the family goes, things like that, this would be a neat place to just kind of go and kick it for a while, away from the rat race. If you're into water sports, this probably is not your place. But if you just want somewhere to kind of chill away from the busyness of everything else that's out there, you know, you could certainly do a whole lot worse than this place. It's quiet. It's not that far from Sisters. It is a beautiful place. Here's another picnic table. The views are wonderful. If you happen to come here earlier in the year when that whole meadow out there is all got a lot of water on it. Like I said, it's probably, you could probably paddleboard on it some, but that'd be about it. But yeah, nice big spacious campgrounds, plenty of room to park. It looks pretty good. Nice place. So I got to look at the front of my car finally. and it's pretty much a meat show. The butterflies. So, Lost Lake, Lava Tube Lost Lake. It's a pretty incredible place. It's I think my take on it is kind of like I said earlier. Generally, is that if you really wanted to have a place just to go where it's going to be quiet, kind of off the beaten track, that's probably a good place to go. It's really good, really nice camping spots, super quiet. It's not that far from Sisters. You know, location-wise, it's really good. I think it got a lot to offer. Is there a lot to do there? Probably not, other than, you know, if you wanted to have a nice barbecue, camp for a night or two just to relax and get away from it all. Yeah, definitely. You could do some, there is some kind of trail webbing out there when the water's down. I'm sure there's some around the perimeter too, but you could certainly do some bird watching out there. I saw geese, I saw ducks, I saw all kinds of little birds out there, butterflies, things like that. So you could certainly do some nature looking, and macro photography would be good out there. But mainly I think it's just a really neat place to just really chill out and hang and really unplug. I like the idea that it's off the beaten track. Anyway, that's Lava Tube Lost Lake near Sisters. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. I do like the comments. I appreciate the likes, the subscribers, stuff like that. It's definitely helpful to get the channel continuing to grow. It's been a really fun ride. I enjoy what I do, and I like the fact that y'all have helped me stay motivated to keep going out and do the thing I like to do. It's far too easy these days to just sit in a chair, you know, and I don't know about you, but this is kind of nice. So anyway, this is Dana Price at Amber Dog Productions. Don't forget, experience nature. We'll see you on the next one.